Sam, would you mind again?
Give a
us the-
prayer?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm no holy Joe. I'm probably the biggest sinner in the room.
That's why I call on you.
Thank you. But I hope you don't think I'm holier than anyone else. From the book of Exodus, chapter 20, commandment number 9. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Please pray with me and pray for me. Our Father God, in this time of elections, primaries, and a lot of political rhetoric, help us all to remember that we have been commanded to not bear false witness against our neighbor. Help us to elect just and fair leaders for our nation, for our states, and for our community. Help us to please help these people to be motivated by the good of all and not by particular interest groups. Thank you so much for bringing us all here together this morning safely, and take us all safely home until we go to our eternal home with you. We ask this in the name of the Prince of Peace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I can see some of the candidates out there. Let's make them stand up today. If you're running for election to the board, will you stand, please? We are so proud of you. Thank you. Do we have any other announcements or correspondence? I didn't think we did. Bill, are you ready to?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the last board meeting with typo corrections.
I believe we have 2 sets of minutes.
No.
Just one? Okay, all right. I'll get used to it.
I'll second the motion with typo corrections.
Any other additions to the motion? All right, the motion is to approve the minutes with corrections for typos. All in favor? Opposed?
Yeah.
Sandy, will you give us the treasurer's report?
Just a second. That's okay, my tongue isn't working this morning either. Okay, bank balances as of Wednesday, February 17th, 2016. For Del Real Banks of Texas Community Credit Card at $68,279.76. Texas Community Checking, $24,239.36. Texas Community Money Market, $2,562.08. Brackettville Bank and Trust, General Fund, $101,271.89. Payroll, $38,127.27. Impound, $348,116.33. Las Moras, $76,472.31. Subtotal, $659,069. Fort Clark Historical Building Preservation Fund, $32,044, for a grand total of $691,069.44.
Bank transfers. January 2015, actual transfers. 2, Bank and Trust Las Morris, 0. Texas Community Checking, $72,000 for operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $57,500. Bank and Trust impound and transfers, total of $129,500. January 2016, actual. 2, Bank and Trust Las Morris, no transfers. Texas Community Checking, $67,851 for operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $65,500. Bank and Trust impound, no transfers, for a total of $133,351. February 2015, actual. Bank and Trust Las Morris, no transfers. Texas Community Checking, $50,000 for operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $57,500. Bank and Trust impound, no transfers, for a total of $107,500. February 2016 estimated expenses, estimated. 2, Bank and Trust Las Morris, 0 for operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $75,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $67,000. Bank and Trust impound, no transfers, a total of $142,000. I move that we approve the bank transfers as read.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Treasurer's report is approved. I understand that Philip is under the weather, so we will rely on Monique to give us the daily operations report.
This may be a very short report, I apologize. First of all, I wanted to talk about Dickman Hall. They have started work, and it's been in progress for at least a couple of weeks, to do the main dining room by laying tile. By laying tile, and they are starting work on the bathrooms that are in the main dining area by laying down, I think it's concrete board, some kind of board to put on the floor to make it more stable for the tile that they are going to put down, or the linoleum that they're going to put down in the bathrooms. They will also start with the wood on the two sides of the main dining area where there is existing wood. They're going to put new wood planks over it. But it's coming along, and as always, if you see Russell's car there, you're welcome to stop by and look in on it and see the progress that's been going on. We're really excited for it. Let me see. I'm sorry, I had to write some things down so I can make sure I covered it all. One additional thing that we have noticed with the new policy, I guess, regarding the pets, the loose pets, how we are having, when we call the members and we have them sign a form saying that it's been your first warning, when we collect your pet and we call you, we have received several new pet registration forms that we are keeping on file. And with that, we've had a few complaints that nobody knew that it was in our rules and regulations. So I just want to remind everybody that our rules and regulations are online on our website. They are posted there. And we also have copies at the front desk that you're welcome to pick up if you just need to take a gander to see what is actually in the rules and regulations. We've been accused that we changed them ourselves. We did not. These are recorded documents, and I think they were last changed in 2010, 2011, around there. So I just want everybody to be aware that we do have the rules and regulations, copies of them at the front desk. The next thing, I have a letter to read from Renee Ford regarding Fort Clark Days. She says, "Dear Board of Directors and membership, Fort Clark Days 2016 is officially 2 weeks away. Our February 16th meeting went well. We got the first real look at what the weekend will hold. There are more living historians scheduled for Friday, March 4th than there were last year. Vendor space is filling up as well as the spaces for food vendors. If you know anyone that would like to participate, please have them contact the administration office soon. There's always room for volunteers and entertainers. If you or anyone you know would like a crowd to entertain, please do not be shy. Call and schedule your spot today. Contact Renee Ford in the administration office if you would like to do either of these things. We would be delighted to have you. This week, we finally reached the exciting tipping point where the festival finances go from red to black. We can finally be sure that every expense is covered. T-shirts and raffle tickets are available in the administration office, the adult center, the pro shop, and the RV park. Be sure you pick yours up soon. Raffle items are also on display in the administration office. A few of them are things such as a portable grill with lots of extras, 2 30-minute plane rides, 2 access trophy hunts, some really cool art by some of our very own members. There are some gift certificates for different things out there as well. We do have a package that is 1 night stay, 18 holes of golf for 2 people, and cart rental, 1 cart, and 2 meals for those people at the restaurant. That is also another package. Make sure you walk through there and check it out when you leave if you haven't already. And don't forget to buy your t-shirt and raffle tickets while you are in there. If you would like to sell some raffle tickets, Debbie Isaacs has some for you to pick up. They are divided into 10 or 20 tickets to an envelope. Tickets sell for $5 each, or 5 tickets for $20. Simply have the buyer fill out the small slip and the end, tear it off, and return it and the money back into the bag. All bags with ticket stubs and money are due in the administration office on Wednesday, March 2nd. Thank you for your supporting Fort Clark Days in this way. Our next meeting, it will be February 23rd, 2016 at 4 p.m. here in the boardroom, and everyone is welcome. Thank you all so much for supporting Fort Clark Days. It is not possible to have an event like this without community support. And I don't know if any of you noticed when you came in, on the back table is the t-shirt that we are selling, and they are available at the front desk.
You didn't want Sam to.
Oh, that's right, we have a model here in the room. Mr. Lark, I'm sorry, Sam. Am I Sam?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Maybe there are questions out there. Be careful.
Are there any questions?
Okay. Oh, one.
Are they having the 5K run also?
Yes. Yes, it is happening.
And
Saturday
how
morning.
do you sign up for that?
I'm sorry?
How do you sign up for that?
I'm not really sure. Debbie, do you know?
It's on the FortClarkDays.org website. The person's contact is in there. Also, it's in the paper. There's an ad in the Kenny County Post also with the information.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
There's one way in back.
I just have a comment. Is that okay if I make a comment? It's a compliment. I'm really proud of how the maintenance people cleared up all the trees that had, every person who owned the house put their trees out in front, to be taken somewhere, and they did a great job, and now the place looks beautiful, so I think they should be commended for that, and that's just a comment, so.
I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Usually the comments aren't compliments. I'm sorry Philip isn't here to hear it. We'll tell him. Thank you. I'm going to do some, our TextNet people here, I thought I saw them.
Yes, they're here.
I'm going to skip to them because, as you know, our meetings are so exciting that probably we put them to sleep. These are the people who may find a way for us to get cheap internet. Not cheap, well, less expensive. How's that?
Maybe less expensive and faster internet.
Right. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Can you come up and use the, however you decided to do it?
Hello. My name's Barry. I'm president of CIT Solutions out of Del Rio, Texas. I'm a small business owner. We currently have a little bit over 1,000 customers. We do support most of the retail stores and restaurants, and I no longer support the residential side. I'm just strictly all business now. I do want to introduce TextNet. TextNet with Chad here. They're based out of B.O.D, correct? Okay.
Do you need any time to set up or anything? Or
Yeah, we do need to plug into your screen right here.
Okay.
Yeah, just a minute, we'll do it.
Okay.
They can do it? If they don't know how to do that, we don't want them messing with
I got in trouble for eating 2 computer buttons.
We don't know if you know what you're doing.
Do you want to do committee reports while they're setting up?
Okay, but I'm not looking forward to it. If we get time to do the architectural committee, maybe. There you are.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Phyllis Giblin. I'm the chairman of the Architect Committee. We meet every Tuesday at 9 o'clock here in this building, and we sit around this table and we appreciate your attendance. This last month, we approved a storage barn for Unit 15, a storage shed and enclosure for Unit 34, and a stone wall was built in Unit 21. We did have to table one permit due to lack of information or lack of building materials, and this happens sometimes. If the permits are not complete, we can't really okay them without that extra information, but they were, the next meeting submitted and they were approved. We also had to send out 5 letters to our residents because improvements or repairs were done without permits. I do want to remind you that if there's any repairs or improvements that are done on the outside of your building or your property, a permit does need to be applied for. Occasionally, and as I have mentioned, the cart has to come before the horse, or the horse has to come before the cart. And we know that the opportunity does present itself. But at your next opportunity, please do, get your permit in so that it can be approved and it can follow your property. Thank you very much. Meet Tuesdays at 9 o'clock.
Guess who got caught by that, not having a permit? That would be the chair of the architectural committee and the president of the board of directors.
Not me.
I thought it was you.
No, not me.
You didn't get caught.
No, you.
I definitely got caught. I hate to tell you how much redneck there is in it. You want to do the golf real quick?
It is quick. Morning.
Good morning.
Deborah Jo Tischler, on the golf committee. We had a total of 907 golfers in January, about 54 less than what we had in December, which is, it was cold. In January, we had 2 tournaments, the annual hangover tournament and the monthly end of the month tournament. We have those every month. And this past weekend, we just had the pitter putter tournament for Valentine's Day. It was a lot of fun. A lot of chocolate was being handed out. And just a reminder for everybody, Monday afternoon, we have a weekly 9-hole scramble. Tuesday is ladies golf, Wednesday is men's golf, and Thursday is couples. And then next Saturday, the 27th, is the end of the month scramble. So, thank you.
Out of my own lack of knowledge, what's pitter patter called?
Pitter putter, it's a putting tournament.
Uh-huh.
You just
Pitter
putt.
putter, I'm hearing incorrectly.
Will we have to windmill like it,
I'm sorry?
like the windmill or a putt-putt golf?
Just
Can we quickly go to the preservation committee?
My name is Darwin Young, I'm president and chairman of the Preservation Committee. We finished Seminole Hall. The front of Seminole Hall is completely done. If you notice at nighttime, all the lights come on. We let a contract to finish up the service club except for the front porch. It got blew off the wind. We did go out and get a bid for the board, and I give it to Sandy Hagan, so I guess progress is being made as far as replacing the front porch of Seminole Hall. I've given two people information to submit bids on the adult center on the roof that got damaged in the wind, and to finish the gutters, the eaves, the windows on this side, to get rid of the leak on Seminole Hall. That's about all I got to say. I mean, if anybody wants to go look at Seminole Hall, it looks great. Thank you.
I happened to see it, it does look great. Thank you.
Can we continue with number 9 because tax act is number 10 on the list?
What do you mean, number 9? I'm in the midst of it here. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we are, but they won't finish number 9.
No.
There's more to it.
I don't see any reason, I mean, if those people want to leave, we'll go chase them down.
Well, I'm Chad Potts, I'm the CTO of TexAnet, and basically we're out of B.O.D, Texas, and we've built a network down there, and we service over 100 some users down there, and we're kind of proposing to do a system over the fort itself. And I got a presentation we can kind of run through.
Excuse me, can you hear him fine?
No, we're talking to the mic, please.
Yeah, turn it up to your face there.
Get a little closer.
Pull the mic out of it, stand a little bit closer.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, sorry about that. But basically on the presentation, we kind of go over some stuff. I don't know how much of the board, I mean, we got like everything, kind of like the numbers that we kind of propose and stuff like that. Do you want to go over all that, or kind of the services, would you?
Services.
Services is the main thing, yes.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and flip through the first part there. So basically, we started at 2014 of December down in B.O.D. I've done this for several years. The CTO, or I'm the CTO, the COO is Jim McKinnon, he's also here, and so is Western. He's also the local tech guy for us. He's also one of the owners and investors in our company.
Can we make them stand up?
Yeah. This is Weston, I'm Jim.
Thank you.
You know, in our vision of our company, the way we do things, Weston, you want to help? Did you talk to them about how the pipes are different?
No.
The last time?
No.
Did you want to kind of go over how your analogy works better than mine, because I'm way too technical. He breaks it down a little better for people can understand it. Like on your water pipe system, how you kind of describe it, how we do the how everybody else oversubscribes.
What we try to do, most of your common people, AT&T, Time Warner, everybody else, what they do is they have an oversubscription rate. In other words, if they have a 2-inch water pipe coming in, they're gonna connect 24 people to a 2-inch water pipe. And everybody knows at the end, nobody's gonna get out a full stream of water. What we try to do is an oversubscription rate of 4 to 1. In other words, you have 4 pipes connected to that one 2-inch in order to keep from reducing everybody on the far end, is what we try to do. Whereas all your big people, they try to oversubscribe, keep their revenue up even higher, and by doing that, everybody in the end user gets reduced speeds.
Very good explanation.
Very good. This is a lot better than the one I do.
I'm selling water.
Same thing.
What will be your mode of distribution?
What's that?
What will be your Wi-Fi mode of distribution for your bandwidth?
In layman's term, it is pretty similar to your Wi-Fi systems that you put inside your house. We use a licensed spectrum that we own ourselves, and it's kind of equivalent to the LTE systems that like AT&T, Verizon, all them would use. It works.
You can go technical.
Please don't do that. You want to talk to them later by yourself, that's fine, but right now we're talking
Yeah, and that
to
basically.
a group of people that need him to be less technical.
So our technology, I mean, the way we deliver it basically will be wirelessly. It is a non-line of sight, 2 line of sight system. So we can blanket pretty good coverage. I'd rather kind of go to the coverage map, Barry. Oh, go back.
Perfect.
The green areas and the red areas would be the areas that that the fort could cover. Green is definitely stronger. The red is still usable. There's nothing wrong with that strength. What we're kind of proposing is not just provide service for the fort. We would like to do something in conjunction with them, is what we're kind of looking at. It would basically, in a layman's term, is basically like a partnership, so that the fort can actually make revenue off of this. So we're not like the sole owner of it. It's kind of the last frontier of being a utility company. As technology changes, I'm sure there's going to be other avenues for the fort to be able to make revenue. But I think this would be a good avenue for them to actually make some money and help support what you guys are doing here and keeping everything in-house. And we would just manage the system and take care of all the installs. We got local people. We got Barry's company, also is down in Del Rio, which could be deployed to here. We can also offer, through his company, what we would do is also run the phone system to this area too. For the fort itself, not necessarily for the residential people, but to get their phone system down. Because after talking, it seems like it goes down quite a bit. And it seems like
And it's enormously expensive.
well, I looked at the numbers. I could say very easily we could save 20 to 30% off of that right off the get-go. And as the time went down, then you guys would actually own it, Right now, you're just renting stuff for a lot of money.
Yes.
And and the equipment, we have no problem with, because the fort would own the equipment that it takes to do all this. I mean, we got different scenarios how they can do it, and I don't know how they want to share that or.
Would you explain basically why this is available now and wasn't before? I don't think it's very clear, unless somebody's talked to one of us. I don't think that.
Well, I wasn't sure if you didn't talk to everybody the last time. You were just with the board last time. Okay. The technology we're using it's not totally new. It's been around for about 5 years. But the series that we're using now to implement higher speeds. It used to be you could only get 1 or 2 meg through, which is about equivalent to what I think you guys have today. You know, with the system we're proposing now, we can deliver up to 300 megs to like a house or a structure of some sort, which is, you know, that's, no one really needs that at this point in time. You can run tons of Netflix and everything across it at any point in time. The fiber does run down your highway right out front here, but no one wants to give you access to it. Well, we have access to it, which really kind of helps. We've partnered with this company. Jim and I have for, it's Zale Group, how long ago did we start working with Envoy?
25 years ago?
Yeah, 25 years ago, we've worked with them out of Minnesota. And they own 80% of the network that runs around the United States now. They're now owned by a company called Zale Group. And we have access to all that. So what we'd like to do is bring that into here and then be able to provide, basically, it would be equivalent to the speeds that AT&T is offering for about a 20 to 30% savings. And then the Fort could also make money off of that.
At a much higher speed.
At a much higher speed. It's a lot more reliable. You have a problem, you got people within 20 to 30 miles of you to come and work on the system versus having to wait and see if they want to come out of Laredo or wherever. It seems like they come a long ways away around here.
They do, but I've never figured out why.
I don't know why they do that either. Because I know at one time, I've been working in the Uvalde area for 3 years now? For about 4 years now. I'm from Iowa, and I still live in Iowa. But I fly down about every other month down here, and I'm the network engineer. And I remote into everything and work on it remotely. And basically through some work that I do with Barry also, you know, we have a pretty good management team. Jim's been in the telecom industry before I was born, so. And he's owned several.
Low, because there are a lot of people like that in here.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got great experience on the management of the companies. Weston's been doing, he also worked with another company in Uvalde for several years, about 10 and a half years. And they managed the network for Time Warner. Basically, delivered the video system to all these remote areas, is what he did. And that's how I got kind of introduced into him, because I was building another network for them. And then we decided, that gentleman passed away, and we decided we didn't want to let it go away, so we just ended up funding it ourselves to continue it. And basically, we'd like to go from Uvalde all the way to Del Rio eventually, and this is a natural stop here, automatically. And instead of us just owning it all, we'd rather partner with people.
Why don't you get into the nuts and bolts as far as what the Fort has to do and what the costs are gonna be projected?
Can you hear him?
Why don't you tell us what the system's gonna cost the Fort and how it's going to work?
Do you want to share numbers?
Don't mind.
Okay.
Hey, we're owners.
However, we're the governing body.
The overall cost, Jim, is this correct on these numbers here? Well, that's sales projections. Where? Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I can't read that. We're kind of looking at the system.
Hey, Chad.
I want to make sure I got the right number. Is this the right number?
What we'll do
for your next meeting is we'll make copies of all this stuff. And that way everybody's got it. And, you know, you'll be able to look at it at your leisure, and then you can ask questions on that. Yes, sir.
Is this gonna be accessed from a tower or a location from a tower, or is it gonna be fiber optic coming to
Or a
the
location from a tower.
From the water
From
tower.
the tower.
From the water
From
tower.
the water tower.
Yes.
And it'll cover the entire fort area.
Yes.
And outside of the fort area too. So you guys can also sell outside the fort.
The red and green map you had up there, that's kind of Greek to me. The housing area,
That's within the green area.
all
All.
within the green.
Yes.
Our system in Uvalde has an average of about an 8-mile radius of a tower. So from that water tower, 6 to 8 mile out radius would be the service area.
You're gonna be able to get 300 megs on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
My question to you is, you made a statement that the fort would make revenue off of this system. And I would like for you to explain how the fort is gonna make revenue off of this system.
Okay. Well, if you want, we'll explain it to you here, but I'd like to get all the information down so we can hand it out at the next meeting or have it available at the next meeting. If they wanted to partner with us, we would share revenue. If they wanted us just to manage it, then you would get all the revenue from that. Let's say right now, I don't know, who has internet today and what do you get charged today?
I'm dealing with AT&T.
Okay, but, you know, is it $30,
Yeah.
$40?
Over 50.
$50
Over $50 for
full
4.7.
Our packages, and you can get on the TextNet website and look at all the range of packages we have. And, they're cheaper than that.
You're saying you're paying how much?
57 for 4.7 meg.
Okay, and our
Which we
package,
don't get.
and our packages in Uvalde, 54.95, and you're getting a 12x2 connection, 12 meg speed.
So, in other words, you can have 4 people in the house watching Netflix at the same time without any interruption, so that's the way that looks.
Is it gonna be impacted by weather?
No.
No,
No, it is not like Dish Network, et cetera, where rain, things like that affect it. That is talking to a satellite, and it will affect, just talking short distance to a tower like this, does not, the weather does not affect the system.
Will your signal interfere with other existing signals now, if a person has?
No,
a wireless-
We actually own the spectrum.
It's a licensed spectrum.
Can you put it on vacation hold, or when
you
you
bet.
leave?
You bet. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
With your system, what would we not need, like I have AT&T and UVerse and.
All we're gonna provide is internet. That's it. Yeah.
So we still need DirecTV or?
Yes,
Yes.
right. Okay. Like right now, I live on a farm. I live in Iowa. I live on a farm. And I have DirecTV and I have wireless internet. So everything I have is exactly like you would have to do.
So what would be your least expensive package?
I believe that's what, 39?
34.95, which is a 4x1 package, which is 4 meg download, 1 meg upload speed, which is 34.95. Plus tax.
Because there is a cost for the fiber to get into
The state needs their money too.
That's basically $20 less than AT&T cost for that same package.
But the thing is, if you want us just to manage it, we would manage it for you.
We also have, we would build a structure for that. We actually have a structure for that.
Yeah.
We had kind of 2 scenarios on it.
But I think what we need to do is provide you with the numbers. You know, we weren't prepared to give everybody numbers today. So I think what we need to do, I was talking to the gentleman back there. What's your name, sir?
Old fart.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Come on,
Okay.
Dave.
I think it'd be easier to hand you the numbers so you can look at it and see. There's nothing hidden.
And the equipment cost has went down tremendously amount over the last 5 years.
Is there a way that the fort can share in the revenue without getting involved in the management of the system?
Yeah, we will manage the system for you.
And we can share in the revenue that it derives?
Yes, we've got a couple different scenarios we can do.
We've got a couple scenarios. I guess one thing, what we're kind of looking for is a real partner. We don't want to be the only ones in here throwing money in, hoping that you guys might take something. Because, I mean, we really want to know that the people are behind it versus just trying to shove something down somebody's throat. I mean, we really want the fort to be involved in all of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Would the town of Brackettville, the residents of the town of Brackettville and the businesses in the town of Brackettville be able to subscribe to this also?
Yes, that's what we're looking, that's why we're looking at kind of the area that we proposed. Yes, we want to cover the fort, but, we can't contain the signal within that area. I mean, so, why not let it just sell out in the whole area? I mean, you're looking at 12 miles, I mean, we could go up to about 12 miles all the way around.
And if the fort was partnered in it and you did sell outside of the fort to the city, the businesses, that is other revenue, the fort would have income on every month.
What type of costs are you looking at for the setup fee? What are you looking at for upfront money or investment?
Well, right now, it depends on which direction you want to go.
Like percentages that the fort would want to be partnership in.
Either we'll do it 50-50 on the expenses, or you do the expenses and pay us the management fee,
And you
whatever.
keep all the income.
Right. 10 years ago, I put up towers like this, and each location was about $30,000 that we put up. For that same equipment now today, it's about $6,000. The quality has gone up and the price has gone down, so.
Another question. Will each of us have a modem in our house that will receive this signal from the tower?
We'll have a little antenna on the outside of your house. It's about that big around.
It's about that big around, the modem is contained in the antenna. The only thing coming into your house will be one Cat5 cable coming inside. From there, then all you will need inside is a wireless router.
If you want
it wireless throughout the whole house.
So would you be able to provide service to some of the ranches and farmers that are near and get rid of Rio Grande expenses for
Yes,
them?
yes.
Oh, they're expensive, okay, cool.
Like, well, to give you a good example, as you're leaving Uvalde coming towards Brackettville, everybody knows where the checkpoint is. We actually service all the way out to that checkpoint from in Uvalde. We're servicing that far out. Everything right there at the Nueces River bridges, all the houses on the left, we have numerous customers all the way out to there. So that kind of gives you a perspective of how far out from this water tower people would be able to receive service.
You were talking about servicing businesses here on the fort, like, I guess our POS systems and all that.
Yes.
Well, one lady asked if you were servicing residential and businesses in town that was capable.
Yes.
Yes.
So why not the residences up here? What are we talking
We
about?
will be.
Well, yeah, we
There'll
would
be
service everybody.
Residences here and in town.
And then what we kind of proposed, I think the way Barry had it proposed, is we would, on this system, because it would save you guys some money also, we would run the internal network for the fort through a private VPN of the system also. So all your buildings would be interconnected for basically the credit card system. Your accounting system, I assume, runs through that too.
Yes.
Because I know you guys got an existing system, but it's pretty old. I mean, I think it's a Motorola system, wasn't that correct, Larry? Yeah, I remember, that's kind of when I first started in the industry. And that runs pretty slow. Now, I mean, that was fast back in the day, but,
It's
you know.
actually an antique. We have it.
Yeah.
We don't call them solar. Yes.
Yes.
So when you install this system, you're talking about $6,000 to put the equipment on the tower, approximately.
Right.
$6,000 to put the hardware on the tower. And then within Fort Clark, For the motel guests, they would not have an issue right now. They can log in once they're given a password. When they go out to the restaurant, they could also log into wirelessly.
That's an internal wireless system that we do that stuff with. We would connect the internet from that. Do they have an internal wireless on that, Barry? You're the one who audited the place.
I would be actually handling the local internal network, connecting to their system internally. And to answer your question, we can put wireless in those places or places that do not have wireless. Using their internet speed, all we need to do is point to the tower, and I just put a wireless access point in those facilities. And that's the plan. The plan with their internet service is we'll be able to provide a separate network for the residential, and then the other side of the network is the business side of the fort. It'll be two completely separate networks. You can't see each other
Okay.
at all.
All right, and a follow-up on that, you said that we needed that antenna on our residences. How much is that going to cost me as a subscriber to the system?
It doesn't.
It does not?
Well,
Is it part of that 6,000, or?
Well, each unit costs us, depends on what size it takes for that customer. How far you are away from the tower? They start out at 70.
Around here, most of it would be the low one.
Yeah, it's like $70 for the actual hardware, up to like 125, depending on what size the antenna is. That's the actual cost of it. It depends on how the fort wants to structure it, because there is somebody has to go put it in, so you have to pay the labor to have that put in also. The way we do it on our own network, the way we do it is not necessarily how the fort's going to do it. Our company, we eat the money on all that with a 2-year agreement.
We have options. If you want month-to-month contract, you want month-to-month billing, no contract with us at all, it's $120 install fee. If you want a 1-year contract, that install fee goes to $60. If you want to sign a 2-year contract, and a 2-year contract, seeing as how we're gonna have you as a customer for 2 years, we eat the install, we eat the equipment fee, and there's a 0 fee for the installation. That's how we personally do it.
So I could call you today and commit to a 2-year contract and have it at my house today. Not today.
Yes. But you would have it with it, yes. Yes, sir. On a 2-year contract, 0 cost, all you would owe is your first month up front.
You have customers on the fort currently?
No,
we don't reach this area, right?
We are in Uvalde, and that's what we're looking to see, if the fort is interested in doing something of coming here and trying to provide better internet here in Brackett.
I'm curious, are you two separate companies?
No.
Barry, one company?
Yeah, Barry is one company.
And you guys are from Iowa, you're another company?
No,
we're out of Uvalde.
But you all live in Iowa?
No,
he does.
I do.
He does.
Somebody else may do
They
farm in Iowa.
do. I'm out of Uvalde. The other investors in the company are out of Uvalde. And the installers that install the equipment are also out of Uvalde. It's locally owned and operated out of Uvalde. These guys are the ones that manage the network and do all the back.
Well, I'm still not clear if you're two different companies, like.
Yes, he's
But-
a different,
Barry does networking. He's a consulting firm
Okay,
out of Del Rio.
out of Del Rio, okay.
Yes.
And you guys are the company that provide the product,
Yes.
Well, we're the internet side. He's kind of the business side.
but you're two separate companies.
Yes.
yes, sir.
How long have you been in business in Uvalde?
December of 2014.
Do you have some references of customers over there that we could communicate with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you provide those to the board?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually provide service to, is it called PE?
PHI Air Medical, it's an air evac helicopter. We provide services for them. They're in Uvalde and numerous other
I don't
larger.
think Cargill Air for sure.
No. Cargill Produce out of Uvalde. which
May I
is them.
interrupt it? What I have not heard you say, and I'm not sure everyone understands, the reason this has become available is that we now have something running beside us that wasn't there before.
Well, it's always been there. It's just no one's, you guys don't have
No
the
one's
access.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
Well,
So explain, please.
It's pretty expensive. well, I don't wanna share the number because the school probably, well, I don't know if it's private or not. But
You don't need to.
there's like the school in Brackettville, they had to run their own fiber to there. And it's a pretty costly, I know it's over $8,000 a month. And we have access to the same thing, but our cost is around $2,000 a month. So that's a pretty big savings compared to even what they're paying. And actually, for what they're paying for and what our cost is, we're getting 5 times the speed as what they're getting. So for them to get the equivalent to it, they're looking at paying like $32,000 for the same thing we're paying $2,000 for it.
If it would decide to go with this, or whatever the court did, what kind of time frame would it be before it would all be hooked up and we could be on it?
A lot of it depends on how many people want it, you know, because we've got to do a little study on this. Because if we look at it and say, you know, we got to do our due diligence for the fort.
We've already
If only 10 people want it out of the whole thing, it doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
So I think what we need to do, and we'll be glad to do this for you, is we'll send out a survey, or we'll send it to you. No use giving the postal service any more money, we absolutely have to. And if you can put it out to people, but we're willing to do that. But to get the actual connection here, probably 90 days, and then we'd start installing after that. So.
Yeah, because we can basically build the tower system while we're waiting for the fiber to get hooked.
The question, you was talking about phone service and stuff like that. Was your fiber service with phone system in the fort?
Well, we would do it for the fort. We're not gonna do it for the residents themselves, because most people have went to this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to sell the phone system to somebody's house. It's a big investment. To do like the business side, because the fort has so many lines, it's more economical to do it.
And then Barry would do that.
And Barry handles that side of it. We would just let him have we would hook him through our system to do it.
When you talk about equipment cost of $6,000 on the tower, is that a one-time charge, or is that a monthly charge?
Well, the cost of the equipment, just so everybody understands, that's for X amount of antennas up there, and that would handle X amount of users. As we add users, we would have to add more equipment, and the fiber cost would also go up. The price I kind of gave to you for $2,000 a month, what the cost of the fiber is, that's for a 200 meg up and down connection. That then we would oversubscribe 4-to-1, which would basically.
If you sign on 300 people.
That would handle 300 users.
Yeah, but if you sign on more than that, then we gotta start beefing it up.
Then we have to go back and up the speed of the fiber, then.
Is this a one-time charge on there, or is this a monthly?
No, that's one time.
That's one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that include installation or just the cost?
That's just the equipment, yes. The installation, we're gonna have to have a tower guy climb up, run the wires down and all that stuff.
I'll never climb again, because I don't bounce like I used to.
I don't know if there's any confusion out there, but I just want to make sure that we explain that this is two different things. One system covering the fort itself, the
Yes.
association and its business. Another system made available to residents, should they so choose, to hook up to that system. So even if we don't get enough members that are interested, we are still going to look at your system for
The fort
fort
itself.
business. Yes,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to make that clear to everyone.
And don't come up
Because-
with any estimates of what it's gonna cost the fort per year? And all your-
What I'd like to do is, if we can give you estimates, and we'd be glad to put them down in realistic numbers and send them to you. It would be the easiest thing for us to do. You know, if we estimate, if we knew how many, let's just say 100 customers or 200 customers, we could estimate to you what the fort could possibly make out of this, using the medium package, you know, $30 a month or $40. So, yes, sir.
When we're locked into a system right now, and we're locked in for 2 years, I don't suppose we can get out of that with you.
We're not
We have
locked
to
in.
wait until we're.
Excuse me, we're not locked in right now. Monique, do you want to explain?
Well, Well, I think he's talking about the residential.
You're talking like with Dish Net.
Oh, never mind.
You're talking like with Dish Net or Wild Blue.
Yeah, we can't do much about that.
I'm gonna disclose the number, because it's right here in front of me, I don't guess it's any secret, anybody can get this report eventually. We're paying around a little over $46,000 a year for our phone system just here on the fort.
Yeah, I thought, I seen the numbers and it scared me, because Jim and I actually used to own a phone company also. He's ran and owned several phone companies, and for 25 lines, that just scared me.
In the analogy, you're getting screwed.
We're good.
We were pretty sure about that.
You're in business that's called a profit. Way too big, but a profit.
Yeah, Jim and I have dealt very highly with AT&T. They're a very great company not to work with.
But no, but there, like what you're doing, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you can cut that cost in half, probably, I would guess, by real easy. So that's a pretty good savings a year right there. You're spending that kind of money.
The numbers will
I think
tell.
y'all have a good program, or it sounds like it could be something for us. And I don't mean to be too critical, but I am. Y'all need to get your act together better on presentation.
I wasn't sure what you wanted.
Yeah, we weren't for sure exactly what you guys wanted, what we were allowed to share out in the public and what we're not allowed
That's
to
the
share.
first thing you should find out. You know, before you come in, we're all disseminating different information here, and most of us don't know what the hell you're talking about, you know, but that's up to you. It sounds good, but what I gather.
I think, though, we do appreciate what you've been doing. It was difficult to even explain to you what we wanted from you, so I think you've done a good job. We currently are stuck because we are out in the middle of nowhere and didn't even know the fiber optic went by the front door here. So we've learned a lot from you. I think that the fort can save a lot of money and possibly make some. So it sounds good to us.
Who do we work with locally here to get the number of residents so we could send something out? We'd work with you on that, okay? Because we'd like to send out a survey. It'll not only help us, but it'll help you. And then we can adjust, now we can look at some real numbers. Because we're just picking, you know, you can't just pick stuff out of the air. You know, we've got to do our due diligence too.
When I met last month, I met with just y'all. I didn't have a chance to speak to anybody residential wise to even know if there was a common interest in having it.
There's a lot of interest.
Okay, well, Monique?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get with you then after you're done for the day here and just get it, exchange emails and things like that.
I think what we need from you guys also would be some hard numbers.
That's what I
In
want to
other
get.
words,
Yep.
from Barry, for example, the phone system, what it would entail, how many phone lines, costs, et cetera, like that. And then for you guys, same thing for just the fort. And then as you add customers, I would assume costs would go down,
Thank you, Bill.
you know, so.
We need to move along.
One question on speed, like at the house, I think I have, what do you call it, 6,000 megabytes per second or whatever it is. AT&T.
Yeah.
600 kilobytes.
So, okay.
Or what it is 6,000.
And I know they have 12 and possibly 18. What are we talking about?
You can make that variable. It is what it is. It's a variable. We can do whatever you want. however you
We have standard packages. Our
We have
standard packages are what? Tell them.
12. We do a standard 12. I understand AT&T says they offer an 18. That's fine. The fort can also offer an 18. The cost goes up. You know. But our standards is 12, 6, and 4.
And we'll have numbers for all that.
Yes, yeah.
All of the packages that we have.
We'll do a lot better job the next time.
Yeah, okay.
Last month, I gave all of y'all a copy of our flyers that had all of our packages and speeds on it. Correct.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Bernard,
Go
I'd
ahead.
suggest that maybe the board would solicit from the members, those people that are interested in having an install.
That's what they're suggesting doing
Right, and
themselves.
send the money to you guys along with a $50 deposit or $100 up front, so we've committed to it.
But we're at that point yet.
No, in the future.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I really
actually like
appreciate
his
it.
idea. I mean, we'll get the hard numbers, and if the numbers look sensible, that would be, I mean, before we even projected to build the thing, or even purchase because when you, on the fiber deal, the way this works, is that's a 5-year commitment. And they, you know,
Put the numbers
Are you down
together
here
and
from
kind of.
Iowa right away?
Excuse me?
Did you just now get down here from
No,
Iowa?
we've been here for 4 or 5 days.
Because you don't look like you,
It's cold up there.
I was going to say, you don't look like you've been in the snow recently.
Where did you fly into? You didn't fly into Fort Clark, did you?
I drove down.
Oh.
he's actually got an airport at his house.
Barry?
I have one more vendor.
Yes, Barry, go ahead.
I have one more vendor that I need to present, which is the credit card system.
Thank
If you don't mind, just.
I don't
Thank you.
That's the business side that we just assume you hold it for us?
Yeah, I can hold it for you.
They were supposed to come into exec session today to give the other.
Okay,
You don't mind, just a few more minutes?
I can handle it.
Okay.
This, actually, this is credit card stuff. Can we do an executive session?
Yeah, we can do that.
That was what was, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. I just want to point out one more thing. I have been actually working here in Brackettville. I've done several jobs for the school district and the Cannon County Library. How many of y'all visit the library and use the internet speed out there? How do y'all like it? Much better? Yeah, that's the type of work that my company does. We actually take old systems and upgrade them, including the school district. They are on a 50 meg connection from one of the fiber that is out here in front. So the school has an improvement in speed and technology that's over there, and I actually deployed a lot of the new technology there. I'm still working with Clint and Michael. Most of you all know Clint and Michael. Both of them are actually subcontractors through my company and will be able to support most of the technical stuff that we do out here in Brackettville and Kenny County. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Yes, and I'm doing several proposals for the courthouse. I'm trying to make them more paperless, is what they ask. So they'll probably have iPads pretty soon. Yeah, okay. Yeah, stuff like that, the printers, and we're trying to eliminate the paper stuff. But thank you, I appreciate your time.
Do y'all have anything on home security, any kind of system?
No.
Yeah, we don't do that part. I didn't know if you do.
Thank you. Southwick Community Council, may I ask you to continue?
Okay, I'm Norma Rowland, President of the Community Council. And last week, we had our meeting in here. Thank you to the board for letting us have our meeting in here. And then we went right on to the candidates forum, which from all the comments I've got, you really enjoyed the way it was presented. There was good timekeeping. Nobody could argue with the timekeeping because it was right up there and the candidates could see it on the computer. We're in full swing for the festival. The festival is still under the auspices of Community Council. Our 501c3 status is used for the festival. This year we're working in conjunction with Fort Clark Springs Association, and they're giving us lots of support. Everything looks good. It's only 2 weeks away. We still need local entertainers for the festival. So if anyone can sing, dance, strip, whatever, we need you.
Please don't strip.
To each his own.
Well, B doesn't want to this year.
Sorry, B.
Unless I can pack a gun.
that would be difficult. We
What would you like to do with that?
will always need help with the festival, so if any of you there have time on your hands, we'd really love to see you at the festival. As usual, we'll have about 30 of our troops from the base out here to do the parking and barricades. And I ask you please to be nice to them because they're spending a day off here to help us. We're still looking at ways that we can pay our rent at Shafter Hall, so we're still looking at entertainment venues for the residents of the fort. So if any of you have ideas, we'd be happy to listen to them, fundraising ideas. I think this is going to be a great festival this year. It'll be the first time that we've really changed things up a little bit. And we're looking at more the idea of bringing people in so they might possibly live at the fort. You know, we always try and do that, but this year I think we're concentrating more on that. There was a good attendance at the Candidates Forum and at the Community Council meeting. I think every chair in here was filled. And so I'm happy that everybody is so interested in who gets on the board. That's about it.
Well, if you have not seen it, the Candidates Forum is up on the
Yes.
on the web right now.
It's on YouTube, and we see a lot of people butts going backwards and forwards. But there is a good look at all the candidates and the people asking the question. It's on YouTube. I looked at it yesterday. That's about it.
Recycling? Is Beth here? We'll just have to chase her down. She may be the one that's working today, yeah. We have an RV report that's printed for us. Do you want to share it, or?
I can share that, please.
Oh, there we go.
I didn't see you back there. Thank you.
I was hiding.
It's hard to do.
Well, you could smell me because of the pancakes and the eggs and stuff like that this morning. But anyway, I was asked to bring a report here, and somebody said, what has taken place since maybe we got here? Well,
Excuse me, would you please tell us who you are? We all know, but would you please?
I'm sorry,
officially?
John Bridger. I'm out at the RV park and been here since November, and a winter Texan, I guess you'd call it. But I'm also a recreational member. What's happened since activities since the actually 1st of December? Well, the RV breakfasts start. We have our RV potluck, RV movie night, and that's every Sunday evening from 7 to about 9. Washers, and everybody's invited to these things. We have different bonfires. We've had shuffleboard tournaments. We've had moonlight rides and dinners out in the woods, and some of you have participated in those. And we're doing it new kind of this year because I've had a few folks that have been around for 20 or 30 years here said, we used to do that. So we're doing it now. Soup supper that we had like down at the Red Bridge. RVers volunteered, cleaned the kitchen, the whole thing. They're on their hands and knees scrubbing floors, scrubbing pots, and cleaning out drawers. All the decorations are paid for by the RV committee. RVers have also worked on some of the historic foundations, cleaning them up out in the bush. Christmas activities that we had, a moonlight ride. We had caroling at the RV park, and that's for the whole fort. We provide, actually we provided soup, we provided hot chocolate, marshmallows, and then a Christmas dinner for our RVers and guests. at Christmas time. January activities involved January 1st, black eyed pea soup that the park pays for, the committee pays for. We have an annual par 3 golf tournament, and that's all Fort that we're talking about here too. Anybody can participate in these activities. Shuffleboard marathon, alphabet competition, and then occasionally we have some meetings there. Randy Knowles from 37 spoke on his trip to South Korea, very enjoyable, and that was in the RV kitchen there. We also had what they call a chili dump. People bring chili in, throw it in the pot, and we all had a good time. February activities, we had the par 3 golf tournament. We had a work day, and actually we've scheduled a work day in March also, where they're painting and repairing picnic tables, and these are our RV people. The people that are on vacation coming, we say, we're going to work 2 hours. And we had about 15, 16 people show up to do anything. Pick up sticks out in the yards and paint, repair, and there's a lot of repairing that needs to be done. Stone soup, and maybe some of you participated in that. Everybody brings a cup of soup, and we put beef in there, and we had about 80 people just this past Wednesday participate in there. We're going to have hot dogs in the bush at Moonlight coming up next Tuesday. So get your golf cart, or if you, we even tell people, because a lot of the RVers don't have golf carts, we try to make it where maybe they can drive to the location so they aren't left out, or we find people that will share carts with them. On the February 26th, the Jack Clarkson Band is going to be in the pavilion like last year. Last year we had anywhere from, I think it was 140 to 160 people show up. They just sat around, listened to the music, had a good time, people coming and going, and that's going to take place on the 26th of February. That's a Friday evening. So make sure you're there. Bring your own snacks and treats and whatever you want to drink, and we've had people just sit down at the picnic table and have their snacks, listen to music, and we had dancers out there too. On the 28th, that's a Sunday evening, we're going to have a bonfire, and the Brackettville Community Band's going to be out there. And we're going to provide some food, be some burgers, and it'll be some hot dogs, because some people don't necessarily like venison. But anyway, we're going to have some venison burgers, and you won't know the difference. It's going to be great. And they're going to play, and then after the at 7 o'clock, we have movie, and that's going to be McFarland. If you've ever heard of that movie before, it's kind of a fun movie. And we have movie night in the kitchen, and we furnish popcorn, and we've gotten rid of a lot more popcorn since I started putting some butter on it. March activities are going to have a work day, as I commented, but then on March 16th, we're going to have our progressive dinner, and everybody please show up. We'll go around to different sites, and we're going to feed you. And just like we have in the past, and I know last year we had approximately 52 or 3 golf carts on this tour around on the fort. It's a fun time, and some more exciting things to do. Okay, also we're going to have a potluck in the bush again, and our last pancake breakfast is going to be March 26th. So keep showing up. It's important because we spend that money, as you can see, back on different things. We're buying the band, or we're paying for the band. All you do is show up. Anybody on the fort, because you know, it's you Fort people that also come over for breakfast, and that's fantastic. Work items. We've been repairing picnic tables, as I indicated. We provide ice. We don't have an ice machine. We buy the ice. We bought a freezer. It's in the day room. And it's for any of our campers that need ice on an honor system. Just whatever it costs us, it costs them. So if they don't have a car that they're pulling, they can get ice right there at the RV park. And when the ice pile is down, we go get more. And so that's handy. We fill all the flower boxes and the landscaping around there. That's your RVers doing that work. We've been pushing back and cleaning, nipping brush on some of these trails that with the fun amount of rain that's been here, things have really popped. And so it's kind of rubbing the golf carts as they go down the trails. One of the other things we're working on, we have some problems with the shower heads, and we're going to get some different shower heads for the showers that are there at the RV park. Putting gravel around the fire pit. One thing that we did just this last time is we picked up a whole bunch of nails where the campers park. I mean, like probably 10 to 15 pounds. And that's with a magnet that we have. And I know I replaced the tires on my motorhome, and they cost $4,000. And here, if these campers pull in there and put nails in their tires, they're not going to be happy campers. And so that's why we're out there picking these things up.
What's the source of these things?
The source of the nails are from what is left. It keeps coming to the surface from the buildings that were there in the park. Nails all over. Yeah, and they just keep working their way out. We're going to continue to work on some of the old foundations around. We have some problems with sewer caps disappearing, or we're going to get those put on. And also, we're trying to keep the lights going at night so some of us younger folks don't fall down. And so that basically is my report from the RV park.
I think that's the best one we've had.
Parks and band. What time is the band?
The band starts at 7 o'clock and goes till 10. Yeah. In the pavilion.
Well, it is a recreational report, but we're going to have a recreation report anyway.
No, I know.
Hi, Jim Tischler. John's a hard act to follow. They got a lot of stuff going on out there. It's a lot of fun. As far as the rec committee's going, Monday evening, 7 o'clock at the service center, we're having a presentation by Mary Ellen. It's a travel log of her and Tim's travels down to Chile and South America. We'll be serving cake and ice cream. It starts at 7, get there early because we're going to serve cake and ice cream early. And then on March 2nd, Friday, is that correct?
No, it's March 4th or 5th.
4th.
March 4th.
Friday,
March
yeah.
4th, Friday of 4 Dark Days. The rec committee and community council are going to partner and have a fundraising. We're going to be selling chili and cornbread. It's going to be a fundraising for both groups. So come on out, have some fun, drink some beer, be a little silly, and
Where's that gonna be?
it's going to be wherever the beer tent is.
The butcher.
I have no idea what that's going to be, but
How much?
it'll be all excited of that.
$5 donation.
$5 for a bowl of chili and cornbread.
You
And-
might get a cookie if somebody.
And this dance is coming up at the RV Center next Friday. Somebody said it might be a toga party. Yeah. We're gonna try to get something going.
You got smiles going anyway.
Yeah.
Sam, would you like to talk about the airport, or do you have someone
Yeah,
else
someone,
today?
sure will.
We're gonna have toga parties over there.
I pay $1,000 to see you in a green toga wearing matching that shirt.
They gave up on us.
Get your money ready.
You take Brazilian churraseiros?
No. American. Dead presidents' pictures on them, please. Hello, everybody. I'm Sam Lark, and I'm a member of the Aviation Committee. First of all, I'd like to give you that maintenance report that's always so important. Our chief mechanic, Larry McNerlin, is right back there in the back. Here's some communications between the pilots and Larry. Larry, my right main landing gear tire almost needs replacing. Larry's response, your right main landing gear tire was almost replaced. Larry, my windshield, I suspect, has a crack. Larry back. I suspect you're right. Larry, my autopilot on altitude hold is losing 200 feet per minute. Larry back. Sorry, I was unable to recreate the problem on the ground. From the RC flyers, they wanted me to make this announcement. They're clearing a path off of Eagle Way up to the fence, and they're clearing an area where you can watch them fly their model airplanes, their RC planes. They're really fun to watch, especially when they crash. If you like to see a grown man cry, you want to come out for that. Hangar report. First of all, we've got 5,000 screws, and the Fort maintenance men are going to start putting down those dovetailed sheets on the roof, and we're going to have a good solid roof, and we're going to dope up all the holes with sealant so that we'll have a roof that doesn't leak. The doors on the hangar are working so well now that one man alone can roll them back and forth to open and close the doors of a hangar. The windows, we're working on the windows. We've got $1,000 promised to us from the Historical Society to go on the windows. That'll be enough for about 2 or 3 window sections out of the 60 we've got to do. It's a work in progress, and we will get it done. We're going to start painting some of the outside of the hangar and repairing the hangar doors. We have idea that we want to paint the hangar doors on the outside and also the canopy area above the hangar to make it look all silver and pretty again. We are having Fort Clark Days, and anyone that's flying in to Fort Clark Days, we're going to have transportation available for them to be driven from the probably in golf carts or cars, from the airport down to the Fort Clark Days festival. And so we're hoping we're going to get some people to fly in for that. We've been discussing the possibility of a pancake breakfast in April, where people would fly in and we would take them for pancakes or breakfast, and then they could fly out. We're trying to get some more people to fly in. The main thing is that we get the word around that they're not going to have a flat tire anymore. We've got the thorns off of probably about 70% out of the runways now. Like John was saying about the progressive dinner, I hope I'm not tipping a confidence here, but the dessert for the progressive dinner, as well as live music, is going to be in the airport hangar on March 16th. So hope everybody will try to come to that progressive dinner. It's going to be a real fun time. So thanks everybody to the volunteers that have been working out at the hangar and out at the field.
Sam, are you guys gonna paint Fort Clark on the roof?
That would be really nice, and
If you could do it. I don't climb and I can't kneel down, so there you have it. But yeah, it would really be nice if we could repaint the roof of the hangar. It was once silver and yellow check, and it had Fort Clark painted over the top of it. It'd be a big project, you know. Hopefully, maybe someday we can do that. But we're still working on that old hangar and trying to save it. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. It's come a long way. I'm now skipping to number 11. You want to do that? Sandy?
I can.
Go ahead.
Okay, the update on the declaration compliance progress. Thanks to the wonderful job the committee did, it made the board's job a little easier going through that. As you know, we've had a couple of open sessions in the evening. Didn't have much turnout, but we are getting through there, realizing that there were some additional changes made by the legislature this fall that we are also having to review to see what needs to be incorporated into the declaration. We are working on better definitions for some of the terms in the declaration, so it's more clear to members what those terms are, such as different kinds of memberships that we have. So we are still working on it. The next step, and we're getting close to that, we still have a couple of things to kind of finish up on, but the next step will be probably 2 public comment sessions that we're going to have so that the members can hear what the changes are. Now, we can't do anything about statutory mandated changes. Those have to go whether we like them or not, but there's some changes that we're recommending and we want some members' feedback for those. And we're going to try and schedule those so that everybody has an opportunity to come, such as one in the evening and one during the day, that type of thing. We haven't decided on dates yet, but we are going to get members' comment. And once it's incorporated into a final product, then it has to go to our legal counsel for them to review all of the language to make sure that it is a legally accurate document. None of us on the board and no one in the committee are attorneys, so we can't make those decisions. So we're getting there.
We've actually met 7 times. I'm not sure you understand.
I didn't count the
And
times.
a couple of us have met.
More than that,
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't keep track. I'd have to look at my calendar. Myrna says 7. I believe her. And we've had some informal sessions to work on just like definitions and that type of thing. So, as it stands now, if there's any question or any conflict between the declarations as they're currently written and state law, we go to the state law. After completing the declarations, our next project will be bringing the bylaws up to state law as well. So I don't want anyone to think that we're not working hard on these. We are, but we want to get it right this time, so when the attorney sends it back to us, we don't have to go back and change a bunch of stuff. Okay, so anyway, we're getting there, and we will involve the membership. It's important that we hear from you about some of the recommended changes, both by the committee and by the board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the search for the executive director, I'm proud to announce that we have one. He will be here on the 15th of March. His name is Richard Lawrence. He's from Canton, is that how it's pronounced? Texas. And that's where the flea market, is it one every month?
First Monday.
You all know better than I do. Anyway, he's been mayor there 3 times. Something else I should say? Oh yeah, he was a county judge. He's not retired. He's still working hard. So some of the reason that it took him a while to get here is that he has, needs to close down some of his business concerns. And sell 2 houses, he said. As I understand it, he's already made an offer on a home in the Oaks. So things are looking good. He will be here for the March meeting and the annual meeting, which is March 26th. And in case you need a reason to get up that day, that's the last day of the Army breakfast. I'll get it. So on March 26th, we will have the annual meeting. Anything else on him? We need you. Go ahead.
Give me a counselor.
He has a master's in social work, and yes, he does counseling.
His name, Tim?
Richard Lawrence.
We've got that covered.
You have people that you're ready to send to him, is that it?
No, we already have that psychiatric counselor.
Oh, you don't need any more of those, okay. I am one and I still need one.
I'm in the office every Friday.
That's nice. Do you charge?
No.
You know who to blame.
Thank you. We have just a few words about the financial audit. Would you want to go ahead on that too?
Very few. They will be, as usual, we will present the audit at the membership meeting, annual meeting at the end of March on the 26th. We actually just got the final version ourselves, and we're still going through it. It'll be the annual audit report will be available at the meeting and in administration and elsewhere on the fort, so people can pick up their copies after the annual meeting. Okay. By then, that'll also give us a chance to look it over ourselves. A little earlier this year, we usually get it right at the last minute, but this year our auditors were experienced with Fort Clark. And because of our QuickBooks and our way we now load our information, it was a little bit easier for them. So it
Our
is.
staff is also.
Yes, and the staff worked really, really hard with the auditor to get all of this stuff put together. So my thanks as a director to the people that worked with our auditor, because it's a long, boring, technical process, and they don't get enough thanks for it. So anyway, it will be available at the membership meeting.
It's a long meeting for no magical things going on. It's time for the 15-minute matter discussion.
Can I interrupt for a moment?
Certainly.
And just to give a report on hunting?
Yes.
We grossed $72,650.
Could you take that out of there and hold it where your face can be seen and sit as your
And expenses were $2,065.70. So we made roughly $70,000 on our hunting so far.
Is that one of the better years than the last several? Just to add, that's one of the best years we've had in the last several, and I think part of the reason is we required prepayment. So we didn't have to chase people down as they exited the gate this time, so it worked well.
Go ahead.
I just have a question. Do the expenses include the salaries for Sam and for Matt?
No, they'd be here anyway. So no, we haven't taken that out yet.
Okey dokey, thank you.
The first one I have is Phyllis Giblin on preservation.
want to thank the opportunity to speak to the board today. My name is Phyllis Giblin, and I am the chairman of the Architectural Committee, but I'll make this real simple. I'm also a commission member of Kinney County Historical Commission and also a member of the Fort Clark Historical Building Preservation Committee. So I have an invested interest in all this. I just came back from Austin, Texas, the state capital, from a Texas State Historical Preservation Summit meeting. And even though our fort is so rich in historical buildings, it's just amazing. And the people that I met there were extremely impressed with what we have here on the fort. However, if you will come to the Kinney County Historical Commission meeting this coming Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I'll give my complete report. But out of all of that two-day seminar or summit that I attended, one of the main thoughts or themes through the whole thing is getting our younger community involved. And the other thing is that if we do not use our historical buildings, we will lose our historical buildings. We are repairing them, we're painting them, we're repointing them here on the fort. We are doing all this beautification stuff. The RV committee is doing beautiful work in restoring our trails and some of our footprints on the fort. But if we don't use them, they will grow back and we'll lose them again. And we'll have to start all over again, maybe, if they're there. And again, I thank you very much for this time.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Where will that meeting be, Phyllis?
It's in the courthouse, second floor.
Next Wednesday?
Wednesday
What
at 6.
time?
At 6?
Allison?
Good morning. I'm Allison Watkinson, and I'm talking to you today about my position as Living Historian Chair for Fort Clark Days. I have a $5,000 budget for bringing in the living historians, and I know that we are just now in the black. And the reason why we're just now in the black is because it does take us $5,000 to bring in the historians. This year we have a minimum of 85 people coming, including 4 cavalry mounts, 20 Lipan Apache, 2 camels, 4 state parks or recreational areas. The WW2, the World War II veteran out of Uvalde, who's coming in with his Jeep. He's getting very frail, but he's going to be back again this year. We also have an actor coming in that acted with John Wayne in the Alamo movie, and he's going to be making rope with an antique rope making machine. 5 cannon are scheduled to be here this year, and I looked at the 10-day forecast, which will take us out to Monday before the event. It's beautiful. I am hoping that the week of the event is going to be just as beautiful because we had last-minute cancellations on the cannon last year. So we are going to utilize the area across the creek, and the cannon will be shooting parallel to the highway. The cannon have a 45-degree blast zone, and so this is going to help with not shooting directly at the residents across the street, but they're going to be going down the highway then, and so that will help with some of that sound effect. So the bridge is going to be going back in. I don't know if that's a historical area down there. Can anybody answer that for me? Is that part of the historic district?
Yes.
Okay. I really would appreciate everybody's patience. I'm going to direct now this way. I would really appreciate everybody's patience with that bridge going in. It's going to take the maintenance department a week to put it in. With 5 cannon being over on that side of the creek, we're going to have 2 teepees set up over there. And then Terry Tiggs' group from Behind the Lines will actually have their tent set up over there as well. That is really going to attract traffic coming down Highway 90, coming in for Fort Clark Days as a last-minute decision. So it does take a week to put up that bridge. It is not a historic bridge, but it allows a footprint for us to get then from the living historian area across to the other side of the creek. It makes it easier for our visitors, and it makes it easier for our enactors to get back and forth. And please recognize that it is a temporary thing. I would love for it to be permanent, but that's my own personal opinion. And people do like to go down and fish off of it. It's awesome if you come out to Fort Clark Days. Walk across that bridge, stand up over there on the other side, and then look back over at the footprint for the Fort Clark Days. Last year, there was nobody there, but I walked that bridge and went over, and I was amazed at what is actually showing up for that Fort Clark Days. So I do ask everybody's indulgence with that and kindness, please, to the maintenance department.
Say something about a tank.
Yes, with his tank, with his Jeep. The Humvee, we thought we were going to get a Humvee in with a military vehicle preservation group, but that guy got called out of the country, so he's not going to be able to come. But the vehicles that we have this year will be from World War II and the Vietnam era. Will be a bigger presentation than what we had last year. There's a new one coming in from Corpus Christi as well on that. The shooting of the cannon, being that close to the highway, is not an issue. This is all cleared with the Highway Department and the State Highway Patrol last year, so that is not an issue. If you would like to adopt a living historian for the weekend for housing, please let me know. Also, if you'd like to adopt a living historian, let's talk $50 to make a contribution to the Fort Clark Days Fund. That would, pay for my budget really quickly and put us even more in the black. So, but that's my report. I even have, on a personal note, because my glasses are not period correct, I did order frames. Now I just have to get the lenses for them.
Go ahead back there.
One thing that was not told on the Fort Clark Days, handicap stickers will be up in the office starting Monday. If you have a handicap need, they know how to handle it up in the front. You have to prove your need for the handicap stickers, but they do say 2016 on them, so people can start picking those up next week also. If you got proof, you got to do it all the time.
John, we're up to you.
Thanks. Hi, John Rosetsky. First off, to quote Mark Twain, news of my demise has been greatly over-exaggerated. I did not have a coma or a heart attack, but a bad reaction to some vaccinations I required for travel. Now I'm back home, and my numbers have not looked any better. I even got this cool watch that keeps every track from my pulse to my N1, A1, and all those involved. Second, I was approached and asked a simple question in a derogatory manner. How long have I been an employee of the Kinney County Post? Honest answer, I have never been an employee of the Post. Any article or advertisement from my grandmother's funeral to the garden club have been replicated without editorial comment. Thank you, Ms. Jan, for making sure that all was true. The advertisement or the statement that I had made for my position at the board was red scanted and words are missing. I met with David Box, who said, okay, I'm going to take this over for whatever, and took my picture. In this upcoming article, I will be presenting my full resume, and I trust Jan and the people at Kinney County Post to provide it full and unedited.
Wait a minute, we can't do that.
Okay, to address that, I trust you very much because everything I've submitted from the garden club to a garage sale has never been edited but provided for in its true and proper phase. And that is a compliment to the reporting that these ladies and the people at the staff do. I am not a member of the Kinney County Post, but when I provided my grandmother's obituary and my father's obituary to a garage sale, I knew it was published word for word correct. Thank you, Jan. Thank you for your attention, board members.
Just lost my vote.
Thank you, John. It's 10:46. We will adjourn to an executive session. It will take us a while. We don't usually have anybody waiting for us by the time we get here. Thank you.
Where we started last time, isn't it? It's 12:58. I'm calling the meeting back to
Calling the meeting back to order. The things that were done during executive session was a presentation from First Data for the business end of the fort, that you got the customer end.
really
Wants to cough. We also discussed member issues and a corporate resolution, which Bill will read now.
Dated February 20th, 2016.
not so close to the mic, please.
On February 20th, 2016, the Board of Directors for Fort Clark Springs Association Incorporated voted and approved to request an extension of expiration date on the irrevocable letter of credit number 388 for the amount of $133,000 and irrevocable letter of credit number 407 for the amount of $7,000. Both amounts meet the requirements given by the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality. Signed by Fort Clark Springs Association Incorporated Board of Directors, Myrna Castle President, Sandra Hagan Treasurer.
Did you understand the resolution? Extending the letters of credit? Then can we have a motion?
Yes, I move, I move that we accept the letter of credit, the letter as read by the secretary.
Any discussion?
There was no increase.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Good somebody.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Everybody, we have a vote? Everybody approved? Passes unanimously. And B, to answer your question, the amounts have not changed.
Oh my goodness.
Are you all right?
You want some help?
Let's, okay, the next board meeting will be on March 19, 2016 at 9 a.m. in the boardroom, with a reminder that the annual meeting is on March 26th.
We are adjourned at 1 o'clock.